Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. I'm very excited to have with me again on this episode, my partner in crime, Mr. Vincent LaRussa. How you doing, buddy?
Doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. And we figured we'd gather today, have a little brief conversation to talk about Ace Frehley's new single, Space Truckin, right? I guess we both had an opportunity to listen to it. It just came out yesterday. Before I even ask you your opinion, and we haven't spoken about it, so you might think it's the best thing in the world or the worst. I really don't know. I'm going to just start off by saying, obviously this is the first single from Origins 2, which is coming out. I think it's September 18th. And I was not a big fan of Origins Volume 1. What about yourself? What did you do? Before we even discuss the song, what was your thoughts of Volume 1 back then that came out a few years ago?
I mean, I think I was kind of like half and half on the LP. I thought there were some really cool versions on there. I think there was a couple. I think, what did Lita Ford sing? She sang like one of those classic tunes that I've heard. Yeah. It's the one that I think Sam Kinison covered.
Wild Thing, right.
Wild Thing, yeah, that was, when I saw that, I was like, yeah. But anyways, I just felt like there could have been a better tune than Wild Thing. But anyways, I thought, it didn't totally excite me, but I thought there were some interesting takes. I always find it interesting to hear Ace's approach to some of the solos. He did White Room, which is one of my, all-time favorite songs. That was cool. I enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, I guess I felt like mixed bag,
Yeah, for me, I think with the exception of the Stanley song that they did together, which I thought was great. The rest of the record, if I never hear it again, I'm totally okay with that. I have no desire to listen to it. I have the CD. I think I put like the one song in my iTunes account. So my point being, my expectations for Origins Volume 2 is relatively speaking low because I'm not a huge fan of these kind of like cover albums and things like that. So when I heard he was releasing the new single, I was like, all right, whatever. I guess I'll listen to it once and probably never again. And then I gave it a listen and you said, hey, we should do a quick chat about it. So I haven't even given you my opinion on it yet either. So I'm going to ask you yours first. What did you think of this new single, Space Truckin'? Obviously, it's a cover. It's a Deep Purple song, but what did you think of it?
I actually thought it was done very well. I will tell you that I listened to it and I said something's catching me a little differently, and I went back and noticed that the original song starts off in A, and Ace starts off in G. Okay, so it's actually a full step lower for those musicians out there. Which as we know, as musicians get older, they tend to lower keys. But I just heard the sound. I was like, oh. But, again, Ian Gillan, one of the great all-time rock and roll singers. We always know what Ace is going to deliver vocally. Like, as soon as Ace comes in, I kind of I chuckle to myself a little because it's just Ace. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
There's only one Ace.
Right.
Ace, I think he does, a good enough job on most songs when he tries to do covers. No one's ever going to, it'd be hard to debate if he's just a pure singer. Right. Or maybe just easier to say, he's not a world-class singer. I'm trying to find the best way to say it, but we always know that with Ace. That being said, I thought he did a great job with it. And, all the little references, Space Ace Truckin', and then with the video, with the bear, and, Eugene,
and we'll get into the video in a moment, but I agree with you. Even the song, like at one point he's like, hey Curly, I think another one, hey there Gendel, these little references that he has that Kiss fans know, but if you're not a big Ace fan, he goes, hey Curly, you're not going to get that, right? But I'll say, I purposely started just for a minute or two talking about Origins Volume 1 because for me that was a big disappointment, again except for the Stanley track. But when I heard this, I was like, wow, this is good. I liked it. I thought his voice sounded great. It's interesting you're saying he was down a key. I would never pick up on that, but I was like, I can't remember the last time Ace sang this good, and it's all relative, right? Like you said, Ace is not a world-class singer, but he sounded to me really good. I know the last album he put out, Spaceman, I thought his voice sounded like it had seen better days. But this one I thought, hey, his voice is sounding good. This song is in his sweet spot, if there is one for him, right? Vocally.
And I'm just curious of when this was recorded. Maybe because I don't know if a lot of these vocals were finished over this hiatus. Think about it. If he's not touring, not playing out, maybe his voice was in better shape. To your point of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What the timeline is.
I don't know exactly when he recorded this particular one. I know he's been working on the album for a good part of the last year. Maybe that is part of it, right? Maybe he's, like you said, he's not out there singing and performing all the time. Maybe it's the drop key. It helped him a little bit. To me, I heard it and I'm like, I love this. He did a little spin on it. It was very similar to the original, but also a little bit different. And I thought the version was excellent. I actually loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So I got to ask you, as a fan of Ace, but also I just traditionally knowing you for so long, I never remember you being a big Deep Purple guy.
Yes.
Not that I'm the hugest Deep Purple guy. Were you familiar with the song before you heard it?
I had heard it a few times. It's not like I could sit here and recite every lyric of the song. I knew the song. I knew about the song. I maybe listened to it 10 times in my life, if that, so that was the extent of it. I did go back and re-listen to the Deep Purple version. Like you said, I'm not, usually my music fandom starts except for Kiss, 77 and later, usually. So, I think this song came out, if I'm not mistaken, in 72, right?
71 or 72.
71 or 72, right? But I did go back and listen to the original. In a lot of ways, it was faithful to it. I think the guitar solo part, and then there's an organ solo that Ace put in, which I actually thought was a kind of a neat little tip of the cap to the original. I know the original doesn't have an organ solo in it, but I kind of liked it. Kind of gave that Deep Purple feel to me, if you will, if that makes sense.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So when you first, or I don't know if you first sent me the link or we just talked about it. I think I had just listened to it and you said, oh, there's another version. And my first impression was, when I listened to the video version, was there's a part, and I know the exact time because I put it down, about 1:57 into the video. This is really awkward edit.
Right.
And when I listened to it, I rewound it back. Matt Starr, I think, is doing like a drum fill, and then it just, right before it goes into the feel weird and comes out of the feel weird.
Right.
But if any of you fans go listen to about 1:57, it's just, I just felt like, wow, they could have edited that. I was really surprised at that.
Right.
Then when you sent me the full version, then I heard where it was edited, and I was like, oh, now it makes sense of why they tried to shorten it, for the video.
Yep.
And again, I just was a little disappointed in that. Has nothing to do with Matt's playing. It's not like he played out of time. It was just an editing thing.
It's the edit, right? And look, the original, or I'll say Ace's studio version is like 5 minutes long, which is very comparable to the Deep Purple version. I think there's like a 10-second difference.
It's like four. High fours.
Exactly. Whereas the video version was only like 2.5, 3 minutes long. I think the whole video is 3 minutes, but there's credits at the end. I think the actual music costs like $230, $240. So they cut out half the song for the video.
So I got to figure that maybe they did that because of all the animation. Maybe they just said, all right, this is going to take a lot more work, a lot more time. How much more are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But I would have enjoyed it at the full length, because I just thought it's such a better version.
Okay.
I think that keyboard solo is great. I made a note of that. Rob Sabino played keys on it.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, I don't know who Rob Sabino is, but
so I do. I looked it up. Okay. Because I was curious, right? So we were kind of joking before we started recording. We were singing, for whatever bizarre reason, Material Girl from Madonna. Right. So Rob Sabino is actually the guy who played the keyboards on the Madonna song Like a Virgin. Okay.
Wow.
So, and Sister Sledge, We Are Family. He played on that also.
So this guy goes back.
This guy goes back. And if you look him up, he's played with countless artists, Bryan Adams. I don't even remember who else, but there's a list of like 40 or 50 artists. So, my point is he's very well established in the industry. And obviously he's been somebody who's been in demand for 30 years. Yeah.
And John Lord, who was the original keyboard player at Deep Purple, is one of those unmistakable guys. I don't think he's no longer with us.
Right.
He captured that vibe. Like
he did.
And I really enjoyed it. And I thought Ace's solo was great. It's Ace,
Right.
Got that Ace thing.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because that's the one part I didn't love about the song. Is I just felt Ace's solo was just, how do I say it? A whole bunch of random notes just thrown together. It was like he pulled out all of his typical Ace licks, which are great, but it was a little bit like, where's the feel here? Where is the hummability, if you will?
Did you listen to, you said you listened to the original solo. The original solo is actually relatively short.
Yes, and I'll say simple.
Simple, very simple,
Yep.
And then what I do like about it, one of the things I wanted to mention, just as a side note, you know, for those, again, music fans out there, musicians, Ian Pace, drummer for Deep Purple, is one of these guys is not normally mentioned in the ring of, you know, the John Bonhams and, you know, all the guys who you know, your classic, you know, Neil Peart's and stuff like that. But he is an underrated drummer.
Right.
Again, like I always say, you know, every episode I always say, feel like I say, go back and listen to, you know, those old Deep Purple records. Yeah. What's cool about the Deep Purple version is that there's like a whole drum tom solo that he does, which I went listen. I was like, this is cool. Right. Now Matt did his thing, you know, in there, and his drum parts I thought were excellent. You know, he did a bunch of like, sound like he did some double bass stuff and some really fast, like, you know, I don't know if there was 30-second note, you know, little rolls and stuff like that, but. So I think he did a great job on it. And it's also, I thought it was interesting that he's the only guy from the residency that's on that track. Yes. Because when you look at the credits, you don't see Jeremy or Phil.
Nope. Ace played bass. He played all the guitar parts. He obviously
and I like Ace's bass playing on it.
Yeah.
I love the tone on it. And he, that was one thing I was like, you know, and we know that Ace has played bass on records before. So, so great job by Ace on the bass.
Yeah, no.
Ace's bass.
I was going to say
Ace's bass.
Oh, well, no, isn't there a song like Ace of Bass or something?
I saw the sign.
There you go. It's the band, not the song, right?
Yes, I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
Okay, well, that's good.
Edit that
out. No, but I agree. I think his guitar playing, for me, less the solo, sounded great. The bass playing was excellent. I thought his vocals sounded excellent. I thought his take on the song was excellent. And we've kind of touched on the video a little bit. I thought the video was a lot of fun to me, a lot of fun. Like if you watch it as a Kiss fan, and he did this with Mission to Mars also, where he did like this animated thing, but there's all these like little Easter eggs, these little nuggets for Kiss fans. And did you catch, I know we've loved the song Eugene, like for years.
Yeah.
So you saw the Eugene, but did you catch the guy sitting on the bowl? Right, which is just funny in and of itself, right?
Yeah, right. Anybody sit on a bowl.
As the Ace character leaves the scene, the guy sitting on the bowl sticks his tongue out. Did you catch that?
Oh, I don't know if I caught that.
Yeah. So
and is that okay? Yeah, I
was going to say, we know all the pictures of Simmons sitting on the bowl through the years, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like almost like a little tip of the cap to that. And if you look in the credits,
or tip of the bowl.
A tip of the ball. That's right. If you look at the credits at the end, like it says like who all the characters are, and Eugene, it says is Reginald Van Helsing is the name, right? And that is the name Gene used on Wendy O. Williams' album as his like alter ego.
Oh, so then you did your homework, boy.
Because I saw it, and I saw the Eugene reference. I'm like, my name is a Eugene, and we know Ace is we know Ace is connected to that song.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait a second, is this like I don't think it's a dig at Gene at all. It's like I saw the guy stick out the tongue, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on. So when I looked in the credits and I saw that, I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool. You know, whoever put this together, and I think it's Ken Gillick put it together. That was like just a cool little, like not putting Gene Simmons' name, but you know, putting the alter ego from the Wendy O. Williams album, which I thought was cool.
Now, did Ken Gillick do the last video?
I believe so. I'd have to go back and double check. I believe he did Mission to Mars as well.
It's kind of the same kind of vibe and feel.
Absolutely.
You know, just the presentation. So
absolutely.
But these are great. I mean, you know. In some ways, I'd much rather see that than like, you know, they're all on the stage, just like, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I must have watched the video 5-6 times just to see what other nuggets did I maybe miss.
Easter eggs, as you say.
Exactly. You know, the creepy reporter, right? That's obviously a tip of the hat to the Unmasked album with the guy walking around with the camera. And in the credits, the creepy reporter was credited to Vic Staven, which is the guy who did the cover of Kiss Unmasked. So I was like, that's pretty damn cool.
Nice job. You know, I'm glad you did that additional research on that because, you know, I think I watched it twice or whatever, but, you know, I did catch a lot of the things you're talking about, but you actually dug a little bit, said, let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a link here. There's a link here to something.
They put it in the credits, and for me, those names, I remember them. So as soon as I saw like Vic Staven, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy who drew the Unmasked cover, you know? So, so I just thought that was like kind of cool that they did that. I'm sure you also noticed that the dino was called Dolls.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yep,
So we know Ace had the song Dolls in the 80s,
yep.
right? So
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, exactly. To me, this blows away that song, quite
Oh yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then we had Space Bear. We all know Ace on the Tom
So
Schneider Show in
yeah,
'79.
yes.
And I think one of his albums recently had an instrumental called Return to Space Bear or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was a Space Bear reference there also. So
Yeah.
to me, that's all cool stuff. And you mentioned the drumming before. Well,
Yeah.
Matt Starr is the bus driver. Exactly.
Great how they made him the bus driver.
Yeah, and even in the credits, go back and watch. It almost makes it like they give all the credits like Ace Frehley, blah blah blah, and that's why I think it's like a reference and a connection between the Mission to Mars thing. And it says like I forget the word, and like making his first appearance or something like that. And like there's some reference, and it's like the guy who looks like Matt Starr as the bus driver, played by Matt Starr. Yeah. So I was like, it's funny.
Yeah. No, look, are they going to do this for more releases of this from this album? I would enjoy it. I know we're talking more about the song, but you know what?
Look, I hope so, because honestly, if I watch the video properly, Space Bear is still being held captive. Ace never got back Space Bear, so there needs to be another video. I want to see how to get back Space Bear.
So what's going to be the next song release?
That's a good question. I don't know. And I know he did release the track listing a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And did you see the album cover by chance for Origins too?
Yeah, and the 85 variations of colored vinyl that they have out. Yeah, exactly. I did see that too.
The first variation sold out already.
I did. It's funny you say that, because my brother said he bought it. I said, well, I actually asked, did you buy it? Of course I did. And then he sends me screens. Can you believe this? They already got 3 more versions out. I said, what do you expect? I mean, this is how they're going to try to make money now. I mean, Ace was always more like putting, even last couple of albums, I was like, all right, I can't keep buying every one of these. Because at first you think, this is going to be the collector. Right. Oh, this one's going to be the collectible. Oh, no, this one's going to be the collectible. But,
agreed.
But yeah, I did see they sold out. What was it, 24 hours or less than 24 hours, right?
Less than 24 hours, right around 24 hours. And it was 1,000 copies. So they sold out 1,000 copies of the gold version. I think that was in less than a day. So kudos to him. And, No, I was going to say, go ahead.
No, I said I personally like the grape version, but anyways, go ahead, because you said the gold version.
Well, maybe they'll come out with the grape version next.
No, they have it.
Do they?
That's the new. Yeah, they have a grape version.
I didn't see that. I only saw blue.
They have a grape and, let me see, Origins Volume 2. Grape black, Galaxy vinyl, and gold black.
Wow.
I guess that's the other one was just gold. So they already announced it.
Right. Well, and this is what I say. Kudos to Ace. Artists are not selling tons of records these days. We know that. They're not making money now off of touring because of what's going on around the world. So if he could make a little bit more money selling the same album in 7 variants and Kiss fans eat it up, good for him. That's what I say. Good for him.
I don't like when people say, oh, whatever. This is I guess people get mad. Oh, this is greed. This is this. Fans want it. It's gonna sell. If they don't want it, they're not gonna keep putting the stuff. They know what the market's like.
Absolutely.
But you did mention about Unmasked, and I just, even though we're not talking about Unmasked, I did also get something by him. My brother said they got a limited edition colored vinyl coming out for Unmasked that looks like, it almost looks like a splattered different colors of like the cover and like almost like a white vinyl. But yeah, Unmasked limited edition colored vinyl is on pre-order now. So for those fans.
Nice, yeah. And I think they did that in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And that's what my brother said. He said, this is the closest thing to getting that. So
and there was a very expensive.
He's all over it.
Of course.
He's all over it. So
nice. Well, there's a huge market for that right now. So, so I think it sounds like we're both saying, though, with the Ace song Space Truck in the cover, we both enjoyed it. I'll say it exceeded my expectations is what I'm going to say.
And yes, and also just because you mentioned the track listing, from what I saw so far, I think I'm a little bit more excited about this edition. So, but we'll see once it comes out and when we hear it. But
yeah, absolutely.
Good. From what I saw, it looked good.
I agree. There's something about this track listing to me that was more appealing. There was the one Kiss song he's covering, She, which I thought was an interesting choice again, because as big Kiss fans know, that's actually started off as a Wicked Lester song. So that predates Ace. So I find it interesting that that's the song he chose, but I know he always loved that song, but it'll be interesting to hear it. And saying that, that's one of the things I didn't like about Origins Volume 1 is the current takes of the Kiss songs. I love when Ace does them live, but Parasite, Colder, I didn't like those versions, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping this is better. We'll see.
Same here.
Yeah. So anything else about this? I'll embarrass you for one moment. I'll embarrass you for one moment. We've talked about the whole video and all of that, and the drummer, Matt Starr, the truck driver. And I just want people to know that anybody watching this, you're going to have an EP coming out in a little over a month. I told you I was going to embarrass you. And you're working with Matt Starr on a song right now. So we won't drip the name out just yet, but you're working with Matt Starr and a few others on that EP. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Matt, great guy, and very, very inspired after speaking with him. And he's going in, I think, this Friday to record some tracks. So I'm very excited to be working with him and collaborate. So cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely I'll tell the Kiss fans out there to keep an eye out, keep a lookout for that, and more on that, I guess, in the coming weeks ahead. But like you said, Matt's a great guy and a great drummer. And, Matt's really been Ace's drummer now for a few years. He's the guy playing on the records. He's one playing full records usually for them. So, it's kind of nice to hear, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he does with you and your stuff.
Same here.
So
thank you, buddy.
No problem. So getting back to the Ace thing though. So anything else you wanted to say, anything in your notes that you've left out?
No, I think I covered everything. I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, I got everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's it. I'm be curious to hear what other people have to say. Did you like the song, his cover? Do you like the video? Do you agree with me or do you agree with Vin about the guitar solo? No opinions are wrong here. You liked it. I was lukewarm at best on it. What did other people think about the solo there? The references throughout the songs, when he's like, "Hey Curly," Space Ace Truckin, do you like that? Do you think it's a little cheesy? I think we both liked it, but I'm curious to hear what other fans thought. And I guess for the rest of the fans, are you excited for Volume 2 or, you're not looking forward to it? What are your thoughts on it? And I think that's about it for us right now.
I'll give the Ace.
There you go. On that, the perfect way to close. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll give my Ringo Starr. You give the Ace.
Is it more like this?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. I'll give my half Ringo.
Half Ringo.
And all righty. Thanks for watching. We look forward to your comments, and we'll see everybody soon. Later.
Take care, everyone. Later.
Bye.
Alrighty, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. Sorry for the little bit loud mic I had, but hey, this is rock and roll, and not everything is perfect, right? Let us know what you think about Ace Frehley's new single, Space Truckin'. Leave your comments. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.